You've just docked in Cozumel, the sun is blazing, the sky is blue, and the options are endless. But what if I told you there's a way to turn a typical beach day into something truly special? A place that not a lot of cruisers know about, where tranquility meets luxury and the margaritas keep flowing without a care in the world. Let's talk about one of my favorite ways to upgrade your Cozumel experience with a little gem known as Iberostar. Hi, I'm Melissa, a university professor who loves to cruise and who loves to talk ship. And today we're going to dive deep into a truly fantastic option for your Cozumel port day. Now, I want to be crystal clear from the start. This is not a sponsored post. Iberostar Cozumel is not paying me for me to share my experience. This is just my honest review. And as always, I will give it to you straight, good, bad, and ugly. Now, as a travel agent, I do get a small commission if you book most of my recommendations or non-recommendations using my affiliate link, which I will always link below. And that's a great way to support my channel at no extra cost to you. And making this content, it's not cheap. So I really appreciate it. First, before I talk about Iberostar and why I think it is Cozumel's hidden gem, I want you to understand a little bit about the Cozumel cruise port, especially if you're a newer cruiser or maybe you've only visited Cozumel a couple of times. The biggest thing to consider if you're cruising to Cozumel is where your ship is going to dock, because that can influence your day and your plan. There are 3 cruise terminals in Cozumel, which is an island paradise located off the Mayan Riviera. It's one of the biggest cruise ports in the world, and it gets very busy on a lot of days. Now, cruisers generally love that there's so much to do here. Cozumel is very tourist friendly. It's easy to get taxis. Taxi prices are reasonable. Most folks are fluent in English. Cozumel is also very developed, unlike Progreso in Mexico, which is one of my least favorite cruise ports. And in Cozumel, most vendors are going to also accept US currency, which makes it easier to not have to convert currency and get pesos. Now, when it comes to those terminals, there are 3 terminals in Cozumel: Puerto Maya, the International Cruise Terminal, and Punta Langosta. If you want to know which terminal you'll be docked, you can usually look at your cruise documents, and that will tell you where, or there are certain websites that you can go to look at ship schedules to see what ship is going to be docked where. Look up Cozumel, find your ship. That'll usually tell you which terminal you'll be at. Now, a quick note on currency. As I noted, most of the vendors here will take US currency, but note that the Mexican peso symbol is a dollar symbol, so it's the same as dollar sign. So make sure you confirm the currency before making a purchase, because that can get confusing. Also, bring cash, because credit cards are not universally accepted here, especially by taxi drivers. Many of them might require cash, so make sure you have that on hand. And if you do travel with a card, I always recommend using a credit card, specifically a travel credit card. I'll link below my favorite and also give you an article as to why it's my favorite. Don't cruise with a debit card. It offers you little to no protections against scammers. And if you get a travel-specific card, it often covers you for other travel things that might happen as well, with some basic travel insurance included. Now let's talk about time zone. This is important because Cozumel operates on Eastern Standard Time, and that may differ from your ship's time, especially if you're cruising out of Galveston, which is on Central Time. So always make sure you check your daily planner, your onboard announcements, and you look at this in advance as you're planning your day out, because you don't want to lose time and come back too early, and you also don't want to miss the ship. And I will tell you, when it comes to cruisers missing ships and pier runners, Cozumel is probably the #1 cruise port for that. So be very cognizant of that and always keep track of the time. My #1 cruise tip for that is to get a little analog keychain. I have a favorite one. I got it on Amazon. It's like $7. I'll drop the link below. I keep it set to ship time, loop it on my beach bag, so I always know exactly what time it is, and I don't have to worry about phone auto time updating or any stress about that at all. Now let's talk about Cozumel's unique beach club culture. Because the thing about Cozumel is there is no easily accessible public access beaches. There are some public beaches, of course, but they're hard to get to. They're not convenient to any of the cruise terminal locations. They're rocky. They're difficult to get to once you're actually there to get down on the beach, and they don't have amenities. So beach clubs rule the day in Cozumel. Now, of course, all beaches are public, but these resort options have private beachfront access. And so that's how they kind of maintain control of it. When it comes to Cozumel and their all-inclusive beach club culture, there are the big 3: Paradise Beach, Mr. Sancho's, and Nachi Kokum, each of them offering something different. Now, I have visited all of the beach clubs, the big 3, and Iberostar many times. I love them all. They all have something unique to offer. I have a guide to all of them I'll drop below in the comments if you are still deciding what is best for you. But I will tell you, for a long time, my absolute go-to, hands down, no questions asked, was Paradise Beach. Mr. Sancho's is the party scene, loud, thumping music, lots of pools. Nachi Kokum is different, polar opposite, very chill, very calm. Property a little dated, pool very small, but very, very calm, very relaxing. And for me, Paradise Beach fit nicely in between. Now, one issue with Paradise Beach that did kind of leave me looking elsewhere, and Paradise Beach is still great, and if you want to book it or any of these other resorts, I'll give you the links below, where you can easily check pricing and dates and book. And you always do, regardless of your choice, you want to book in advance because they all do sell out and they're all becoming more and more popular. And that's my problem. They're starting to become overcrowded. And the last few times I have been to my go-to, which is Paradise Beach, it has been unpleasantly crowded. I've always found Mr. Sancho's to be overcrowded. Paradise Beach was kind of my solution for that. But the last few times I've been, Paradise Beach has also been really, really overcrowded. Now, one thing I like about Nachi is that of the three, they have the most limited capacity. So it does give you that more relaxing experience. So that is a great choice if that's a concern. But I've also found a new great solution, which is a little bit different to the all-inclusive beach club passes. And it's an all-inclusive resort day pass. And it's Iberostar Cozumel. So let me tell you what makes Iberostar different. Now, Cozumel has that all-inclusive beach club culture. And like I said, there's the big three. There are some new up-and-comers that are starting to crop up. I haven't had a chance to visit them yet, but from what I understand, they're fairly similar to the tried and true big three. Now, these big three, these beach clubs, these are meant just for day use. They're not associated with any type of property or resort. They're geared toward day use, namely cruisers who come in, they're open during the day, they close at night, and they don't actually have any hotels or property associated with them. So with Iberostar, it's a little bit different. And because of this, a lot of cruisers don't even know about it because it's not a beach pass, it's a resort pass. The difference is Iberostar is a full-fledged resort. It's an all-inclusive resort and hotel, and they happen to sell a limited number of day passes to cruisers and other people who want day passes to make use of their amenities for one day. Of course, you don't have access to a room, but you have access to all the other things they have to offer in terms of resort amenities. The property itself is stunning. The grounds are lush, they're calm and serene, and they're beautifully maintained. There's even some flamingos. Now, unlike some beach clubs where space is at a premium, and again, you feel like you're checking in and with everyone at the same time, it's really overwhelming, Iberostar feels huge in comparison, and it feels very relaxed. Another thing I love about Iberostar is that you'll find multiple pools. Some of the beach clubs like Nachi and Paradise Beach, they only have one pool, but Iberostar, they have more than one pool. They have two pools. So there's plenty of room to spread out, and they also have a private beachfront area. And I find this to be so pleasant compared to the beach clubs because of the beach clubs to maximize their capacity, although they do still limit capacity. But again, lately overcrowdedness has been a problem. They kind of have the loungers almost like on top of each other. So unless you get there early, a lot of times, if you want to be at the beach, you'll get a lounger and there's people right on either side of you. There's lots of people rows in front of you. Not the most scenic view. But Iberostar, you really have room to spread out. And there's so far fewer people here, it's so much more pleasant. Now, when it comes to the beach in Cozumel, it's important to note that this part of Mexico is prone to seaweed or sargassum. And this can happen any time of the year. And if you think, oh, that's no big deal, what's a little seaweed? It's a problem. If the sargassum is really heavy, you're not going to want to be in the beach at all. So having a pool option is great. And the great thing about Iberostar is that you have two pools and they're very, very big. Now, another thing I think that sets Iberostar apart from the competition with the traditional beach clubs in Cozumel is that unlike those beach clubs, which none of them do this, Iberostar provides beach towels for use. And they're not sad little thin beach towels. Mr. Sancho's actually rents beach towels with a deposit, but they're these sad flimsy beach towels. No, these are plush, nice beach towels. So if you spend the day at Iberostar with a day pass, you get access to that nice beach towel or more than one for the day. So if you're like me and you hate lugging big, heavy cruise ship towels to and from, especially at the end of the day on a beach day where your towel is damp and wet and sandy and gross and you gotta schlep it back to the ship, this is a really nice underrated perk. So when you book a day pass here, you do not have to bring your towels. They have them for you. You just check them out at a towel hut, which is near the pool area. You show them your wristband and you're all set. And obviously you have to return them at the end of the day. Now it's a small thing, but it can make a big difference. And it's one thing that I do love about Iberostar. And for me, it justifies the higher price point of Iberostar. Now let's talk about transportation, because while Iberostar is absolutely worth the trip, getting there is gonna require a taxi. But that's true of every beach club option in Cozumel. Now from the cruise port, you're looking at about a 20 to 25 minute taxi ride to Iberostar, depending on where your ship is docked. And as I noted before, all of those beach clubs and resorts generally are along one road. This one's a little bit further, but not significantly so. Taxis in Cozumel, they operate on a flat zone-based pricing. They don't use meters. So when you get off your ship, whatever terminal you're at, you'll usually see a sign. It'll have pricing listed for each of the main locations, including Iberostar. And there's someone there to direct people into that line of awaiting taxis. So it's super, super easy. Now, many of the taxis are cash only, so make sure you come prepared with currency. And again, US currency is fine. And make sure you confirm the price and the currency and whether or not they take cards or cash. And if it's cash only, you have cash before you get into that taxi. Now, here's one of my favorite pro tips about Cozumel that a lot of cruisers, especially newer ones, don't know. If there is a long line at that taxi stand outside your cruise terminal, which is very much often a thing, ignore it. That's going to take forever. It's chaotic. Just walk right out of the terminal. And once you're out, there's usually plenty of available taxis right outside that official taxi stand area. And they will take you where you want to go for the same rate, plus a couple of bucks upcharge for each person. And for me, that little bit of extra cost is well worth it because of the time savings and the lesser frustration. And again, the taxis here, they're really well marked, they're regulated, they're safe, you're going to be fine. And once you're done at the end of the day at Iberostar, you're ready to go back. Getting back is simple. The resort has a designated taxi pickup area. Again, there will be taxis there waiting. You don't have to wait at all. A transportation coordinator will direct you to a taxi, confirm the fare, and head your way back. So super, super easy. So the big question, is Iberostar Cozumel worth it? Here's my honest take. Absolutely. This is a newer option. It's a lesser known option. I feel like right now it's kind of a hidden gem because everybody always clamors to go to those big 3 beach clubs and they don't even think to look at Iberostar. And sometimes they do, but then they see the price tag and they're like, nah, I'm gonna save money and go to Mr. Sancho's instead. So if you're willing to spend a little bit more for a better experience, absolutely, Iberostar is a great option. They provide the towels, they have more than one pool, it's significantly more relaxing, it's significantly calmer and less chaotic, and you're going to enjoy a beautiful, gorgeous beach day here. You're not going to be jostling for a lounge chair. You're not hearing thumping party music like you might at Sancho's. You're not going to be overcrowded, and it's just very peaceful, and it feels luxurious. And then there's the food. Now, all of these are all-inclusives. That's a great thing about the Cozumel Beach Club culture. They're all-inclusives, and that actually presents a good value. And when it comes to the food, I was a little unhappy at first to learn that Iberostar offers a buffet instead of chairside service. That's one thing I do love about Paradise Beach. But their buffet food is really good, and their buffet is really clean. The buffet has nice variety, the food is fresh, it's flavorful, it's well executed. They have local dishes, a taco bar, and get this, I love this. I'm not an alcohol drinker, and sometimes I feel like I don't get my money's worth at all-inclusives because I don't drink alcohol, but they have a coffee bar. So you can get coffee drinks too. Oh, and that taco bar, they actually make the tortillas fresh right in front of you. And it truly is like the freshest of the fresh, so, so good. So I think the Iberostar food by far compared to all the competition is significantly the best. So yeah, you're not gonna have a server coming to your chair waiting on you, but the food is readily available, it's abundant, and as I noted, it's really, really good. So if you care more about a luxurious, indulgent experience, you care more about food quality, you want a relaxing day at the beach or at the pool, you don't like a lot of really loud music, and you don't like being piled on top of other people, this is your option. This is a great choice. Now, if I'm cruising with my kids, I probably will still go to Paradise Beach. For a long time, that's been my go-to, but the overcrowded factor has really made that start to be something that I don't love. So if I'm not cruising with my kids and I want a relaxing day, Iberostar now for me is my absolute #1 choice. So if you're traveling with kids, you might want to look at options like Paradise Beach. And if you're traveling with really young kids, I do have a recommendation that I otherwise would not recommend, which is Playa Mia. Playa Mia, I think, is by far the worst of all the resort clubs and resort day pass options in Cozumel, but with one big condition. So you're wondering, why is she recommending a place she said is the worst? It's excellent for parents that have kids and toddlers. They have a wonderful dedicated area for younger kids. So if that applies to you, seriously look at Playa Mia. But otherwise, don't go to Playa Mia. You couldn't pay me to go back to Playa Mia. So regardless of what you're looking for, all of them have their pros and cons. It just depends on what vibe you're looking for, who you're traveling with, what they like to do. And for me, again, luxury, service, experience, calm, peaceful, quiet, Iberostar is gonna win every time, even if it is more expensive. So if Iberostar sounds like a good option for you, here's exactly how you can lock in your spot. And as I mentioned, regardless of what you choose, you're going to any beach club in Cozumel, you need to book it in advance. They're all wildly popular, getting more and more wildly popular, hence the overcrowding problem, and they sell out. So you don't want to be left not getting into any of them. So if you want to do that, all you need to do is check out my link below. This is a site that specializes in resort access. Again, this does not cost you anything more to use my link, but when you do use my link as a travel agent, I do get a small commission. I greatly appreciate it because making this content costs a lot of money, and I hope you find it helpful. So there's my honest review of Iberostar. So have you been? If so, let me know what you think down in the comments. Let's talk ship.